Morning, everyone. Here I am. There's a little crumb there. Well, I'm trying to get an early start this morning so I can get out and make some actual progress on my road today. So let's see what I want to tell you. First of all, I'm having a hair issue because I left my shampoo at a hotel 2 nights ago, and that's why you have those little bottles. I don't like the little bottles. I really like the Pear Tree where they have the little dispensers you push. But anyway, looks like I will be looking for a little bottle of hair stuff. Second, not much makeup today because I wanted to get out early and be out there. A little interesting tidbit I was thinking of when I was throwing myself together to get out online with you guys, and then I could get out the door. You may or may not be old enough to know who Twiggy was. Twiggy was a model back in the 60s and 70s, and it was very, very thin. And she said it would take her 2 hours every day to put her makeup. I mean, I can't figure out anything it takes me to do 2 hours. Good morning, everybody. Joni, Andrew, Linda, it's nice to say hi. It's nice to see you popping up and following me along. Well, I had a pretty interesting day yesterday. I was talking about strange signs I've seen, so I thought I'd share a couple with you. One was there was a place by the side of the road, and it was called the Pawn and RV Park. I just can't figure that one out. I saw my first Longhorns, and I'm not even in Texas yet, but there were some Oklahoma Longhorns. Now, one of the things about traveling this road that if you intend to do it, you're going to want to remember. I got a hair. Hang on a minute. You get down here. So anyway, I've got now I lost the train of my doggone thoughts because I'm trying to get out here early. I don't know. It'll come back when I watch it again. One of the things you want to know, it's very important to have sunglasses with you, especially if you're going to be driving, as the sun sets, because it is wicked. I'm very glad I have my sunglasses, and I still have to hold up my hand. So make sure when you get sunglasses, you get really good ones. Saw my first dead armadillos on the side of the road. I saw one, and I said, oh, look at that. And then a little while later. Now, if an armadillo's got that heavy shell on it, and it gets knocked off by traffic, it's a good warning to us. Stay out of traffic. Yep. So I also realized I am having little issues with my left and right. Those people who know me know that I have a definite problem with what's right, what's left. If I can glance down real quickly at my GPS, I can see the little arrow tells me which way to go, but I can't tell you. It's embarrassing how many times they've said turn right and I've turned left. It's just kind of a thing, I don't know, about me. So yesterday morning started out at the Rock Cafe. I saw the lights at night when I drove into that cute little motel I stayed at, and I thought it was a bar or something. But come to find out, it is a great restaurant. When I say it is a great restaurant, oh my stars. Now, you know how I feel about people who post pictures of their food, but there's times when it is very good. Man, did you see those pictures I posted of those crepes? They were vegetarian, and they had chunks of tomatoes, and they had peppers and cheese and onions. Oh my God, all the vegetables were grilled and put into the crepes, and they were amazing. And the hash browns on that plate were crisp, just like I asked. Oh my gosh, and it was the cutest place. Where do you go to get something to eat? And they have a patio, and on the patio there's corn toss. I mean, at the campground maybe, but to go to a restaurant, and their patio was I think covered, paved, I don't know how you'd say it, with that stuff where it's all chopped up tires. So I guess if someone, I don't know that they serve alcohol there, but if you fell down, you kind of bounce back up maybe. But it was great. So that was in Stroud, Oklahoma. So if you go to Stroud, you must go to the Skyliner Motel, and for breakfast, go to the Rock Cafe. Good morning, guys. Okay, so then I went to the Stroud Library. Now, you remember a number of days ago, I gifted a book to a library, I think in Normal. So I went in, and the girl was completely and totally underwhelmed. It's like, I don't think she even said thank you. So, oh, great. I'm glad you like my food pictures. Anyway, she goes, oh, okay. So, part of me wanted to whip that book back and say, fine, if you can't be at least a little impressed with giving you a nice book, I'm taking it back. But I did not put it out for praise. I put it out so people will pick up The Secret of Sweetwater Stream and be blessed by it, because it is a book that can change your life. So then, after I picked myself up and dusted myself off with my little ego, I headed toward a different city at Davenport, but I went past the Stable Ridge Vineyards. Now, I did not stop there for a few reasons. Number one, it was still 5 o'clock somewhere, but a little early in the morning to be tasting wine, so that wouldn't work. Number two, if I bought a bottle of wine, I don't trust leaving it in the car since I'm headed west. And yesterday, by the way, came up to at least 86 degrees. And the night I went to the Skyliner, it was 81 degrees when I checked in at about 8:30 at night. So that was pretty interesting. And then I went to Davenport. There's these little treasures that are hidden along the way. There was not a whole lot said about Davenport. They have some murals, but I'm finding that's quite the thing on this whole route. People like to do murals on the walls. It's better than graffiti, and probably a good way to put graffiti artists to work. Anyway, this Davenport town, I went there because it was on my way, and they have the murals all through town explaining how the town got started, and it was fascinating. And there's things that you don't think about, like the Great Land Rush. I'm not going to give you a history lesson here because we haven't got time for that. I got to get on the road. But it was when they would, people would get their covered wagons and they would book out into the wilderness, the plains, and they would, you find a spot, you mark it off in a certain amount of time, and then if you could get that land working within a year, I think it was, you got to keep it. So can you imagine that? Just grab yourself a piece of land. But all those people left everything behind. I don't know that I could do that. I don't know. It's crazy. So that was amazing. There was a cute little old Texaco station there. And there was also, their streets, the street and Main Street, and maybe more, are made out of brick. I mean, literally. I mean, when you drive down and it's but it's adorable and it's amazing. And they had a cute little place called the Pecan Tree, and I stopped by just because it said the Pecan Tree. Now, the little side note here: the town that I went through just before that is called Chandler, and it said pecan capital of the world. So I thought, oh, goody, I love pecans. I'm going to pick me up a bag of pecans to bring home, and I'm thinking about, let's see, put them in an insulated bag to make sure they don't get rancid or anything like that. There wasn't a pecan to be had, and I didn't know until I hit another town that pecans do not come in until November. So much for that. I was not going to find any. And the pecan tree, as far as I know, did not even have a pecan pie on the recipe. But I really wasn't hungry even. I just wanted to support their little business. So I ordered a side salad. And because also, if you're not getting your fresh vegetables on the road, you could have problems. So I had the salad, and I have to tell you this, it was one of the best salads I have had in forever. It had these tomatoes that were like really real tomatoes, not like grocery store tomatoes. These were real, juicy, tasty. amazing tomatoes and a lot of peppers, and there was more other vegetables or equal other vegetables in the salad to match the lettuce. And guess what? It cost $3.50. Can you beat that? It was absolutely amazing. I loved it. The pictures. They gave me a little magazine. It was just really great. So then I moved along and I went to Jerry's Route 66 Gallery. Now, Jerry McJerry is the guy who makes the those little yellow maps you've been seeing me use, and those of you that were at Girls Weekend that I used to make my decoupage frame. And he's an artist, so he has a gallery there and all kinds of Route 66 stuff. And it had said, he's an artist, he may not be there when you get there, so you should call. Well, I didn't call. And I got there, and he wasn't there. But there was a sign that said, I'm nearby, call this number. So I called it, and he came right over. And we had the best conversation, took pictures. I gave him a copy of Spirited Stories Heard Around the Campfire. I signed it for him. He signed my map, and then he signed a postcard for me to send to Tristan. So I finally got the brilliant idea, like halfway. Today I should make it to the halfway mark, Lord willing, of from Chicago to California. And but he signed a postcard. I decided to send Tristan a postcard every day. I sent him a little book called Annie Mouse's Route 66 Adventure, and it's got lots of pictures of the places I've gone. So I figure if I send him a postcard every day, he will be excited, and he will go find, and his Grammy will help him, I hope. He will be able to find the pictures in Annie Mouse's book. I'm doing pretty good with the driving. Not making it as far as I went, but I sure saw some stuff. The prayer is, I like have an ongoing dialogue with God. Now, I know this. No, it is not a monologue. It's a dialogue. I talk, God talks back. I listen, and it's pretty good. But as far as this, I thought I was going to do this sitting around kind of stuff. No, that's not happening. I make sure before I leave in the morning that I do my my gratitude list. If you don't do a gratitude list, I so encourage you to, because just take some time first thing in the morning, write down 5 things you're grateful for, and here's the kicker: why you're grateful for it. That really makes you think. And if you start your day locked into 5 things you're grateful for, and I'm going to tell you something, trying to come up with 5 things I was grateful for when Sammy first passed away was really hard. But I know that it's these daily practices, these habits, that help us to live a good and a healthy and a victorious life. So lesson for the day. I went to a really cute little Phillips 66 station, and excuse me, in I think that was still in Chandler. I went to the Oak Park Cemetery. Now, I took several pictures. You'll only see one. I was looking for the grave of Bill Heffernan, or he was 70 years old, and he got killed in a gunfight. He'd been a sheriff in Lincoln and in Chandler, and yes, he was retired. But I thought, wow, the last victim in the day when there would be only occasional gunfights, they would be in the street. And it was a little fairer with 2 people than what we've been experiencing. That's the thing about this trip. This trip reinforces for me that life can be different. And I know from my Unity teachings that it's about us. When I noticed this, and it was freaky. There literally is a church on every block out here. most of them fundamentalist, Baptist, and like that. And just everywhere. They're in church fronts, they're big, they're fancy, they're little. And the one thing I question, and please, I hope I don't offend you when I say this, but a lot of traditional religions, as I see it, so I'm not starting to fight for anybody, as I see it, a lot of these religions are looking for God to fix us, which God does with our help. Without our help, we've got free will. We can do what we want. A lot of people say Jesus is coming back, you know, for the second coming. Well, in my faith, the second coming was when I received the understanding of what Jesus was teaching us, which was, this is how. I showed you how to do it. And what did he say? He said, follow me. So, okay, I'm going to take a collection up now. No, just kidding. Anyway, it was amazing. And the only thing that comes close, nowhere near, but comes close to how many churches there are Dollar General stores. They are all over. Now, sometime you might want to look up the history of the Dollar General store, because one of the things that's really wonderful about them is that they try to help people get a good start in life. Now, I read this 30 years ago, and I hope they still do it, but they would take people who were on welfare, they trained them for managerial positions and put them in their stores. So I do not hesitate to shop at Dollar General. Okay, so then I know that's what I was going to tell you before, and I didn't. I saw the round barn, which is one of the features, and it's got a little gift shop. It's got little stuff like that. But the thing is, the driveway was before the barn, and out here, there's no shoulders on the road. There's no way to pull over, you know, take a picture. I pulled over right beyond it, and if there was one that was 10 signs, no parking, no parking, no parking, no parking. And there was a sign behind me that said parking for the red barn is behind it. Well, you can't turn around. No, I ran out of my car. I snapped a picture of that round barn, hoping nobody was going to come out of that building and chase me with a gun. And then I was back on the road. So then I went to this giant soda pop thing. This is what's funny. I missed the giant milk bottle. I really wanted to get a picture of that, but somehow you can't see it all. But anyway, I keep looking for these giant things, and you can't believe sometimes how hard a giant thing could be to find. But so I go to Pops. Now, Pops is a soda store. Try to look at the pictures in my album. It is freaking huge. The walls are all glass with soda bottles in them, and every kind of soda. But I walk in the door, I take a turn. I was not in that place for 5 seconds, and I see a big display of Avery soda. Avery soda from the town I grew up in. So I like that. I didn't buy any. I did buy a few bottles for when I stopped by my kids' houses on the way back. We need to get one. It's not just the price, it's that they were heavy to carry. So we did that. I missed the Arcadian Inn. I went around the block like 3 times. I have no idea where it was. It said, you have arrived. You have arrived. You have arrived. No, if I arrived, it didn't. It went away. And I left my rock yesterday at the 1889 Territorial School. And I was very excited because I figured there surely will be a lot of people that visit that spot, and it'll go away pretty quickly. Oklahoma City kind of wound up getting blown off between me not being able to find stuff and like that. But there was one thing in Oklahoma City that I saw that I really, really, really had a wonderful experience at. I didn't go in, mind you. It was the Amelia Earhart Museum of Women Pilots. Now, number one, I have no desire, while I like to be in a plane, I do not want to fly a plane. I have no desire to fly a plane at all. But I went in there, and I did not go in there. I went up there, and I took a couple pictures. I got to tell you, I got out of the car I get little goosebumps right now. I got out of the car to take a picture of the museum. I swear to you, I could feel the presence of Amelia Earhart. I could feel that she loves that place. And I don't know how it came to be, but I could just feel this energy. And it was an energy of courage and commitment, and it could make me cry. I was so glad. I almost didn't stop there because I was getting out of my way. I am so glad I stopped there. And now, then I went to Yukon. Now, at Y-U-K-O-N, not U-C-O-N-N. Like Yukon, like Yukon Jack. Excuse me. I went because I wanted to see the Express Clydesdales, which is a big provider of Clydesdale horses, and I was so excited because I wanted to maybe get a picture of some Clydesdales I could, you know, send to my sister and my horse-loving family. And not me. I love horses. I just wouldn't ride one. They have big feet, big teeth, and they scare the poop out of me. Okay, so excuse me. I am now in El Reno, which is where the Chisholm Trail started. Again, not a history lesson. But I'm in a Motel 6. It's the most expensive place I've stayed on my journey, and they don't have free breakfast, and they don't have a hairdryer. They don't have little shampoos. Excuse me, got a tickle. And so yeah, and they have birds outside. You've got to go to my album. I included a little video and a picture of these birds. They make a noise that is so terrifying, you think you're in Hitchcock's movie, The Birds. Honest to God. Now, little aside, I did not know that the movie Cars was about Route 66. Am I the only one that never saw that? So I guess I'm gonna have to sit down and watch the Cars movie. Also, when I was in Normal and I went to the museum there, and that's all about the Blues Brothers. Am I the only person that never saw the Blues Brothers? So I guess when I get home, I got 2 videos I've got to see. I'm headed to Hydro now, and that ought to be exciting. And I'm going to go to this store. It's called Nutopia. Nuts and More, if I can find it. I just hope they don't try to capture me recognizing there's a nut if I ever saw one. So I'm off to my journey to drive, to pray. I hope, that was one thing, I hope to find someone, you know, a Unity minister to pray with today. If you're out there, a Unity minister, please pray with me for my healing. You know, it's moving along, but every once in a while, all it takes is seeing something or hearing something, and bang, you got it again, you know. But I'm working on it. And so therefore I am healing. I'm affirming that, and I hope you'll be affirming that with me. Off to Nutopia. I hope they don't try to keep me. God bless. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.